Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's good old Francis Lee here. Just wanted to give you a garden update here on July 16th, 2026. Just watered these guys, these tomatoes with Tiger Bloom, and they are going nuts. They have got tomatoes, Roma tomatoes everywhere. There's one in there starting to blush. I mean, they are just piles of them everywhere. I got a bunch of smaller ones up here on top. Got a bunch over here, a bunch inside. I mean, they're everywhere. So we're gonna get a bunch of Romas. You know, this thing is loaded. You know, I stopped the Miracle-Gro, but they still have Miracle-Gro soil and Miracle-Gro shake and feed. So yeah, you can see the haze from the wildfires. You can smell it. It's just terrible. But yeah, there's tomatoes everywhere, and whatever you can't see, there's 100 more inside. I got pretty much all the ones that have the blossom end rot, because I started the CalMag late. So this one's a little smaller, but it still loaded down with a bunch of Romas. I like Romas. You get a bunch of them, so probably between all these, I should get at least 20 pounds. If it wasn't for the heat and the blossom end rot, I'd probably get closer to 30. Let me go show you the garden. I got the shade cloth on, so hang on a second. Okay, we got the onions, and I know what you're gonna say. These guys are planted way too tight, and I know they are. Still learning how to do onions, but this is the biggest I've ever gotten them. These guys are easily golf ball size and still growing, so you know, there's a bunch more, and like I said, I know they're way too close together. But you know, they're getting there. You know, next year I'm definitely gonna put them, you know, one per hole. We got the celery, got a bunch of that, so that's doing wonderful. Got a bunch of spring onions and chives. We're gonna pull that as soon as this heat wave goes off, and dry some and freeze the bottoms. And we already did pull some red beets, and there's some more growing, but we left the smaller ones and picked the big ones. So we're just waiting for these guys to get a little bigger. Gonna water them. But let's show you the peppers here. We gotta give them Miracle-Gro today. There's the oregano struggling, but look, we got baby warthogs. Yeah, the sinister burn, and they look nasty already. I mean, these guys just look terrifying already. I haven't started. I mean, there's some blooms on them, but I didn't really start the Tiger Bloom yet. I want to get them bigger. You know, some of these are up to the top rung, some are not. I want to get them all up to the top rung before I start the Tiger Bloom. So I'll probably give it another 2 weeks. By that time, it should be up to the next rung. But we have a bunch of UFOs here. I have a buyer for them. That plant's doing really good. A bunch of little babies. Let's take you over to the spicy paprika. Yeah, we have some pretty good sized spicy paprikas here, and a bunch of buds and a bunch of little ones. Like I said, once I hit this with the Tiger Bloom, it's gonna take off like crazy. This is a color bell right there. That's a California Wanderer, and there's a pepper right there. And this is a heavyweight. You know, they're kind of doing good. You know, like some of them are splitting really nice, like this one. And there's other ones that aren't, they're splitting, but they're kind of being compact together, so not really sure. Maybe the heat. But yeah, we got the hub, the Slovenia hub. That plant is doing beautiful, nice and big. It's got some buds on it right there. This is the regular paprika, non-spicy. Doing pretty good. Like I said, with it being in this heat, they really do slow down growing. But check this out, guys. We got a bunch of Jimmy Nardellos, and yes, this plant is a lot smaller because of the peppers. So, and you can see, got a bunch up here, a bunch of small ones there. But I'm just giving this guy lots and lots of nutrients. So, is he the smallest? Yeah, but you know, we'll get some early peppers. I'll pull them off once they're done, and then this guy will start growing again. I just gave him shake and feed yesterday some more. And I'm giving them Miracle-Gro today. So, you know, a couple days ago they weren't even up to this rung, and they're already surpassing this rung. So, you know, it might be a little slower growing, but, you know, we got some nice Jimmy Nardellos on that. This is a Big Mama Mustard. Gigantic plant. Not many buds on it, but this is a very slow growing plant. So, it is definitely, like I said, I'm not expecting too much off of that. Hang on a second. Okay, we got another Jimmy Nardello. It's such a nice sweet plant that I wanted to grow 2 of them, so you can see we got one there, we got a couple there, 3 of them there. And this plant is up halfway up to the top rung. I want to get them at least up to here, guys, before I start giving them the Tiger Bloom. Last year I had these things over 6 feet tall, and I had a hell of a time keeping them up. So this year I'm just going to give them, I'm going to let them grow about 3.5 feet tall, and then I'm going to give them the Tiger Bloom. I want to keep them smaller this year, but still productive. But yeah, it's getting a bunch on there, and there's a bunch of buds on this thing. So these are going to be very, very prolific. This is my pepperoncini. I hope it turns out to be a real yellow pepperoncini. I've seen some people online say about green pepperoncinis that turn to red, so I don't really know, but there's one over there. You know, there's a bunch of buds, a bunch of side shoots. You can see all the buds and everything, so it's doing very well. And let me kind of show you, like this one is splitting nicely. You know, it's got a nice Y and everything. This one is doing nice, it's splitting nicely. But this one is doing what these did, you know. And it can't be root bound because it's in the box, but you see how tightly packed it is. Now, if you look down in here, it is splitting to a point. So, not really sure. This one's doing the same thing, but even worse. Not really splitting all that well, but this Baby Bell is splitting nicely, and that's the little heavyweight over there that's lacking behind. But this guy is doing good as well. Just needs to split a little more. These got a little leggy in the sun, but like I said, you know, we got 2.5 months to go. I think definitely we could get these guys here in about another month. They should be at the top of this chicken wire, and probably not going to get a lot off of it, but you know, I'll take what I can get. I started a month and a half late, so that's my fault. But yep, they're under the shade cloth for another today and tomorrow, and then we're going to take the shade cloth off because it's supposed to go back in the 80s. Hopefully get some rain on Saturday. That rain really does numbers. I mean, anyone that grows plants will know that after a rain, you come out and you'll be like, wow, look how big they got. And that rain really does numbers, especially after a heat wave. So we're going to give all these guys, we got to give these Miracle-Gro and these Miracle-Gro and these Miracle-Gro. And then this is, we're going to give, you know, what the hell, we'll give that Miracle-Gro too, you know. That'll help with the all the onions and everything. You're not really supposed to give Miracle-Gro to red beets, so I'll probably do one container just water and one with Miracle-Gro. But most of us getting Miracle-Gro today. And once this heat wave here ends Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to go back and put more shake and feed in there. I didn't have a lot to put down in, so I'm going to put some more in there. And like I said, you know, there's about this much Miracle-Gro in here, and the rest is like topsoil mixed with mushroom mulch. And it's kind of clay and hard, so I think once I rototill it next year and get a lot of Miracle-Gro mixed in, it's going to be a lot better. So it's a work in progress. For these red beets, yeah, they're struggling in the heat, but onions are better than I've ever gotten them, so I can't really complain. Are they gonna get big like baseball, softball? No. But if I can get these guys billiard ball size, I'll be happy, because, you know, I've never gotten them that big. I have a bunch of celery and a bunch of spring onions, so, you know, every year, it doesn't matter. It does not matter how much you garden, you're always going to make mistakes. You're never going to go through one whole season and be like, this whole season went perfect and nothing went wrong and everything grew exactly the way. No. You know, I've been growing peppers for years, and, you know, I thought I had it down pat, and some of my peppers are not splitting. You know, you're not going to be perfect. So it is what it is. I gotta mow the lawn tomorrow morning early before it gets hot. But yeah, just remember, tell yourself, you know, when you garden, not everything is going to come out. You're going to have problems. You might have 3 years of perfect peppers, and then you're going to have a year where it's be like, wow, what the hell went wrong? So you're going to make mistakes, so don't get discouraged about it. You know, just kind of, you know, do your best, do your research online, and just, you know, do as much as you can, because that's all you really can do. But here's the herbs. This is the cilantro. It is bolting. You know, it's too hot for cilantro, really. Just trying to keep it alive as much as possible. And I gotta water the parsley today. It's getting a little dry. But half of it died in the last heat wave, so I'm just trying to keep it alive and get as much parsley as we can. Did I say oregano? I meant parsley. And of course, then we got the little mini rose, which in this heat is impossible. Hang on. We got up here, we got some catnip. We lost half of that too in the last heat wave, but it's starting to come back. So we got some catnip for the cats inside, and so yeah, garden under the circumstances of 2 heat waves, I can't really complain. You know, we've lost a lot of tomatoes due to blossom end rot, but as you saw in the beginning of the video, we got plenty. So, but yeah, hopefully it will. Hopefully we'll have a cooler July. You know, keep it in the low 80s and perfect growing conditions. And if that happens, we can expect good things. So, I'm Jesse from Jesse Co. Peppers. I'm hot. I gotta get inside and get more Miracle-Gro and get more buckets. One of these days, I'm going to get a hose. Make it a lot easier on me. But yeah, we'll see you next time. I'm Jesse from Jesse Co. Peppers. Take it easy. Keep it gardening. Be kind. And remember, don't let it get too discouraged. It's not always going to be perfect. It's just not. So, we'll see you later, y'all. Peace.